Welcome to another exciting episode of Business Digest, where we explore bold ideas, innovative minds, as well as the future in the industry. Joining us in studio today is an entrepreneur who has decided to take his green dreams into a thriving business. Welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you and welcome. Thank you for welcoming us.
Era. Kindly do introduce yourself to our viewers at home.
My name is Raymond Matsake. We've been Kitsokolo Lubatsi, born and raised in Lubatsi, and I grew up in a community involving, well, I can say a boy raised by the community. It was a mission school, and we did, I think I did karate at an early stage, which is something that also contributed towards our mental strength. And that's Raymond that you're looking at. My educational background was just a normal Tswana education where most of us have enrolled. And then I joined the industry. I was at a corporate industry at a very early stage. Chose the back door, decided to go into the night school. And then, that's more of me,
Okay. So tell us about your business. What do you do now, and what services do you offer?
Our business name is called Green Gem. We are located in Pakalani, just behind Pakalani. And we have 4 products that we are producing or promoting at the moment. It's horticulture, and then it's landscaping, and then the garden maintenance, falls under garden maintenance, and then we have the nursery where you can walk in and buy plants.
What inspired you to venture into this kind of business?
You know, in our background, we have agriculture. You know, when you out solar fella, you find that there's a chicken in Malaping. So it was that idea that we eventually cultivated it and commercialized it. When we were still working, we had some livestock going on. But we got to a stage where we decided now we need to pursue and chase our dreams. So that's basically how we started. I think it was about 10 years ago.
Now I want us to talk about hydroponics. How can you simply explain it to?
Hydroponics it's not a new thing for starters. It's something that Lawrence has lived since about 1699. It's just that farmers decided they were comfortable with cultivating the soil. But now with time, I can see there is now an evolution. People are migrating because of the climate change adaptations. So offers about the new ways of farming. But in short, hydroponics is just growing vegetables without using the soil, but instead we replace the soil with the nutrient filtration, where it can either be more methane, it can either be more dechanneling, but there's no soil contamination.
So how long have you been practicing hydroponics, and what products do you produce from this?
We've been using the system as far as I can remember for many years, decades now. And from this system we are growing basically leafy crops such as your lettuce in front of us here, your herbs, your spinach, your rape, even some tomatoes. You can even grow your cucumbers. There's a whole lot of vegetables that you can grow from hydroponics.
Okay. How suitable is hydroponic for a semi-arid country like Botswana?
Hydroponics is actually good for this because semi-arid, you are talking about where there's no vegetation. So how else would you grow? How else would you feed your animals? That's when hydroponics kicks in. That's where now you can grow vegetation for your animals in your semi-arid region. That's where you can grow because you are not contaminating the soil. You are actually contributing towards the environment that you are working in. So it works perfectly fine because it's working on the channels. The only thing that you might have to deal with extreme heat, unfortunately, highly heat wave around a choice. But if you do it in a climate controlled environment, you can grow throughout all the 4 seasons. Unlike somebody who needs a fertile soil and all that. So there are places like Kobo, Namibia, they are doing well under the same environmental model.
Okay, so locally, can we plow throughout the year? Ghana, it does have.
Certainly, we are growing throughout the year because we have to produce lettuce on daily basis. We are supplying to our restaurant on daily basis. So the only thing you have to do with kiddie crops is how get your cropping plan nicely or adapted to all the environments. But yes, we are growing. We are using all the 4 seasons to feed the nations.
Era. Which products, should I say products, are suitable for hydroponics?
Products, you mean like the crops?
Era.
Yes.
Era.
I think all the leafy crops, like I have mentioned, your spinach, your rape, your lettuce, your herbs, your parsley, your basil. There's a whole lot of area of herbs that you can grow in hydroponics.
Okay. We are going for a quick commercial break. We'll continue our conversation with Mr. Matsake.
For more than 50 years, Debswana's success has been the result of a solid and enduring partnership between the Botswana government and De Beers. This has been underpinned by the resilience and commitment of its workforce. The Debswana story is one marked by a careful stewardship, wise investment, and shared prosperity by all stakeholders. Debswana is motivated by its vision of becoming a global benchmark diamond business and is regarded as one of the world's leading diamond producers by value. It currently operates 4 operations: Orapa and Damtsha mines, the Letlhakane mine tailings treatment plant, and Jwaneng mine. Recovered diamonds are sold to the Diamond Trading Company Botswana in Gaborone, one of the world's most sophisticated rough diamond sorting and valuing facilities. After this stage, the diamonds are sold to the De Beers Global Site Holder Sales for aggregation and to the wholly government-owned Okavango Diamond Company, ODC. The diamonds are then sold to the world's leading diamond tears, known as site holders, to be cut and polished before being sold to jewelry manufacturers both locally and abroad. Debswana is the largest employer in Botswana after the government, with over 5,500 employees and 6,000 contractors. The company recognizes that having a more diverse and inclusive workforce is not only the right thing to do, but also a business imperative. Debswana is guided by the Social Way framework, which establishes social performance principles by delivering a lasting positive contribution to communities, managing risks and impacts. Debswana's vision and values underpin the way it operates. They guide the way it deals with its people and its stakeholders, empowering the company to make life brilliant and turn diamond dreams into reality. One of the company's core values is to conduct business in a manner that upholds the safety and health of its employees, visitors, and contractors, and minimize impact on the environment. Debswana's environmental and safety systems conform to the highest international standards. The game parks surrounding its larger operations are well stocked and protected and are used as popular recreational destinations and for environmental education. Through the significant contribution of Debswana, Botswana is now regarded as a modern economic success story, a country with modest beginnings that has transformed itself into a rapidly developing upper-middle income economy. Even though diamonds are finite, Debswana remains a beacon of hope for Botswana and will continue to be such for the foreseeable future. Debswana, mining diamonds, enriching the nation.
We continue our conversation with Mr. Matsake as we explore the science behind smart farming. Ramatsake, what are the advantages of hydroponics?
There's quite a lot of them, but just to browse through, you are promoting an environment, a healthy farming, where, as I mentioned, where you are not contaminating the soil, you are saving water because you are recycling the water. You are using only 20% of the available water because 80% is boil up in the system. So it's a cost-saving measure. And then you are also promoting your yield, within a small space you can grow a lot, which is optimizing spaces lente. And then the products that in the as compared to the products that in because kana how more meeting or like in hydroponics how they receive your crops, they don't hunt for the nutrients unlike momo, because you are spoon feeding them. You are just saying here's your daily crop, here's your nutrients. So we're promoting a quick turnaround growth as compared to momo. And yeah, especially in our case, we accommodate labor to buy long. You can actually operate it all more wheelchair. So we are not leaving anyone behind. So I mean, like I said, there are endless benefits I think, and the crops I think they seems to the shelf life I think is longer than how to do compare the moment. And then just to go there is our organic fertilizer. So I think the organic plants tend to survive all the shelf life is compared to the sing organic.
Okay, so shelf life, I think, difference again.
Shelf life I run in about 5 days, but the crops they are struggling with the shelf.
Era. I understand you also do train, and then you've done this and even have some partnerships. Can you talk more about this?
Yes, like I said, we are not leaving anyone behind. When everybody was busy trying to see how they can maximize on their growth, Rona, we took a different angle. We said, hang on a minute, in the Baba marginalized, Baba remote settlement, by they also need to be brought on board as well. So we, through our marketing department, we managed to attract interest the NGO. In this particular round, there is an NGO that we're working with. It's called Palms for Life. They are based in America, but they've got an office in Botswana. So through our partnership, we managed to reach out to 11 settlements across the country. And then these settlements are in the remote areas. Maina think bo Mangmatai, bo Kidia, bo Kwe, bo Malatsai. So yes, the whole idea was to reach out to the people Balor they don't have access. So the program I think was merely to set up the hydroponics unit at those settlements and then work with the local VDC, your Kota, your Kosi, your SNCD, because outside more villaging, you obviously need to so this is now partnership between us, Green Gem, the government, and then the NGO. So yes, we have trained over 111 students from this program. We have created jobs for 11 site managers made up of the postgraduate students from our local agri school. We have managed to create eventually jobs for the students, ordinarily the students, because now they compensated Lebanon programming. I think some of them have gone on to start their own project. So you can appreciate the magnitude of this project. And yeah, it's not only this one. Then we also met with another company called GAPS, Daco Habron Marathon. Yeah. They've also identified, but they were looking at disability centers, the power with hydroponics. So yes, we've gone around Bomuchu de Loba, Semorobani. I can think of Mulepolole. All these are disability centers, and we have designed a specialized hydroponics unit for them. And as we speak, they don't have to travel long distances to buy spinach. They don't have to travel long distance to buy, tomatoes. They can just wheel around the garden and harvest.
So how are these operations doing at the moment?
Like I said, imagine if you bus and now you can just wheel around to harvest and feed the nations. Any excess they can sell and have something in their pockets to run their business. How is it doing? It's doing well, because at the end of the day, the whole idea was to give them the skill. There's nothing that anyone can take away from you, only knowledge. Knowledge is power. So we've managed to train them. Now they are self-sufficient in terms of knowledge. Initially, yes, it was kind of like a shock. Drive into a village called Mangota. Here is a hydroponics. You don't even know where to start. But at the end of the day, they managed to grasp the idea, and it's doing well. They are feeding their community. They can survive. Some of them, like I said, Banabaten, they've gone on to start their own agri-business, which means they've been inspired by this project. So, yes, there were some challenges there and there, like heat wave. What can you do? When it's heat wave, it's heat wave. But we always train them to run your crops in such a way that they can adapt to all the 4 seasons. In other words, when only Mokote, there are certain crops that you can grow, both basil and in front of us. And then Agoli CDD, there are certain crops that they can grow. So they've managed now to run it through the 4 seasons.
Okay, interesting. Besides, I like the fact that you mentioned some of the challenges. Besides heat wave, what are some of the biggest challenges facing hydroponics?
In the most settlement areas, you find maybe scarcity of water. So that was the problem in the face. But they will fetch water from the rivers from long distance and treat them. We have managed to train them. And so challenges were addressed in most cases, but some with a lack of interest from the community. Maybe it's not what they wanted. So some accepted it 100% wholeheartedly, but Baba had some resentment. But we've twisted the program around. Or okay, you said Dilongori was not doing well. Maybe let's go and set it up elsewhere. Baba interested thing, so that we just continue with the program.
Okay, Ramatsake. We're going for a quick commercial break. We'll be back.
Diamonds. The word alone evokes potent symbolism. From the unimaginable power of the forces that create these precious stones, to their unparalleled strength and durability, to their indelible association with the most powerful human emotion, love. Born billions of years ago, diamonds have captivated our imagination throughout human history. Botswana, in particular, has a special place in its heart for this magical stone. Diamonds have assisted its transformation from one of the least developed countries in the world to a glittering success story.
The future of the country looked very bleak before the discovery of diamonds. It was so bleak that some people asked whether we were brave or foolish to want to be independent.
New capital, Gaborone, the national flag is unfurled amidst much enthusiasm. Good luck, Botswana. Our best wishes go with you.
The birth of Botswana's diamond dream, sparked by the discovery of the Orapa pipe by De Beers geologists, came shortly after the country's independence. The second major find by the De Beers prospecting team, Zwaneng Mine, propelled Debswana to becoming the world's leading diamond producer by value. Debswana is the largest private sector employer in the country, and its revenues have played a major role in building Botswana's infrastructure, health, and education sectors. Debswana's contribution to Botswana's economy over the past 5 decades has been significant. It is the major contributor to the national economy, contributing 33% to GDP, 70% to export earnings, and 32% to government revenue. Debswana's long-term focus on the sustainability of its business will maintain the lives of its operations and the communities around which they operate for many years to come. Debswana, mining diamonds and enriching the nation for 50 years.
Welcome back. Before we went for the breaks, we were talking about training people. Just wondering, are people willing to pay individually to learn about hydroponics?
Well, our program, however, is now there was no need for payment because everything was paid up by the sponsor. But to answer your question, I see more Gaborone. There are some institutions running this, and people are paying. So I think it's a good question.
Let's talk about the Sustainable Development Goals. How is Green Gems participating in greening the environment?
From our, as I mentioned earlier on, from our landscaping side of things, we are greening the country by introducing plants with greenery, reducing the gas emission, encouraging people to plant in their backyards. And then we are recycling waste. From the garden waste, when you sweep around wet landscaping, we turn this waste into composting. And then this compost is now recycled back into the gardens. So, and then we also, like using hydroponics, we are taking care of the environment because we are not contaminating the environment. We are recycling water. We are using the available energy out there, which is the sun, to power most of our hydroponics across the villages, as I mentioned. The 11 settlements are 100% powered by the natural energy, which is the sun.
In your own opinion, is it possible for the country to one day reach the self-sufficiency in agricultural produce?
I think it's possible. It's possible because, but we believe from Green Gems side that we have to capacitate. We have to look for open new markets so that the produce from the farmers can be absorbed. There are many ways of doing it. We can go into distribution centers. We can go into the marketings, open markets that can promote the products for the farmers.
Value chain.
Value chain, thank you.
So what is required to reach this target?
I think we just need to be patient. We just need to trust in the process. And with time, we will eventually get there because we are comparing ourselves with the countries buying water on their 5th generations. It will take time, but it will eventually get there.
So where do you sell your products at the meantime?
We are feeding the nation on a daily basis in Gaborone, and then also where we have the centers across the settlements that we have mentioned earlier. So in Gaborone, we are supplying on a daily basis your daily outlets, your restaurants around town.
So where do you see your business in the coming next 5 years?
We have to grow. We have no choice. We have to adapt. We have to adapt to the environment, the climate adaptation. We are working with corporates. We are working with Leah. We are continuing with our mentoring with Leah, with their guidance. We are working with BITC to see how we can grow our market into the region. But before you go into the region, you need to protect your products. So that comes in the SIPA. With SIPA, we are growing our IP. We have registered our brands. And then before you can, like I said, before you can even think of going outside, you need to make sure that your brand, your products are protected. And then we are also working with UNDP through the supply chain development model program to enhance and improve on our marketing strategies. So with all this aforementioned, I think we are the sky is the limit.
Are there any crops or technologies you are excited to experiment with?
Definitely, because you remember now with after the borders, this now also, we realized the cost of production also increased. I will take, for example, our fertilizers. We are now paying 3 times more than we used to pay before. So what we are doing, or what we have started to do, Co-Granger, was to see how we can mitigate this. So we are now introducing, or we've started to introduce another leg of fish waste, which is now called aquaponics. So we are merging the 2 systems. So with aquaponics, you'll be then introducing fish. So fish will give waste. Waste will be used to fertilize the plants. And then the plants will give back to the fish the oxygen that is much needed. So with this system in mind, we will be able to eliminate the fertilizers. So I think that is one area that we are vigorously working on at the moment.
Okay, let's talk about the demand. How's the demand for the plants that are grown with hydroponics?
Both the plants and the system, the demand is gone high. We are quoting on daily basis. The plants, as for the plants, as I mentioned before, the quality of the plant from the hydroponics is much better than the one that is compared to one MMO, because it has more shelf life. So we tend to see more, because we have entered into another market up in the Delta, which is in Maun. They seem to appreciate the lettuce because of the logistics. Yeah, last by the time it gets there after a day or 2, it's still fresh, because it was grown organically. So I think for that reason there is a huge demand for hydroponics, because it's done and grown in a manner that it's taking into consideration the environment. The units themselves, the hydroponics, they are also on demand. We are also planning to see how we can partner with Boholani to see how we can expand this to increase our units for the disabilities.
Okay, I mean, you've mentioned earlier that you are supplying quite a number of restaurants. So just wanted to find out, how's your production capacity?
There's room for improvement, because we are not meeting the demand. In other words, I think we are doing 80% of our daily demands. So we are looking around to see how we can increase our capacity. But the uptake is good, because on daily basis the trucks comes empty.
What is your final word to graduates, to farmers, and others who want to venture into the hydroponics farming?
I would encourage. We are working closely with the agri school, and from our experience, we feel they should adapt. Yes, you've been in the classroom for 8 years or so, but equally so the world is moving. Technology is taking over. So I would encourage them to keep up with times, so that they can just hit the ground running. Because what we have experienced with some of the postgraduates that we have engaged in our project, yes, they had the necessary qualification, but they were facing some challenges like technology, or things have been moving here. So I would encourage them to keep up, and keep up with the technology and the innovation as well.
Thank you, Mr. Matsake. You've heard from the man himself. Hydroponics is the future. From me and my team, until next time.
Debswana's story is one of transformation, the beating heart behind Botswana's evolution. More than a diamond mining company, it epitomizes exploration, innovation, and excellence. Every year, it pioneers responsible resource management, technological progress, and community upliftment, shaping our future. Debswana unearths opportunities, enabling education and livelihoods. Its legacy illuminates our horizons, guiding every Motswana towards a better tomorrow. Debswana, building a brighter future for Botswana, beyond diamonds.